Wars, according to an old Chinese saying, are fought with silver bullets. Strategy and men win individual battles, but final victory goes to the side that better turns its wealth to military purpose. At the outbreak of the Civil War, the stock market plunged, but it soon recovered.
When the war broke out in April of 1861, what happened on Wall Street is what usually happens in a financial market when war is declared. They panicked. And the market was in turmoil for several months until it was determined that the war was going to be very long and very expensive, and the bonds the federal government was going to have to sell to finance the war were going to have to be traded in Wall Street. At that point, one of the great bull markets in Wall Street history erupted.
In the war's first year alone, the Union government's expenses grew from $172,000 a day to $1 million a day. The money went to railroads, iron mills, textile manufacturers, and munitions companies.
The government was selling bonds to raise money for the war effort, and that helped also create more dimensions of the modern markets as bankers had to sort of underwrite those securities.
But even as Washington financed the boom on Wall Street, profit often mattered more than patriotism.
When the Union does well, the market crashes in Wall Street, and when the Union does badly, Wall Street thrives. And so you have the people, whistling Dixie in the gold room because they want gold to go up, and they want the Union to lose battles, if not the war.
This was all done in a very cold-blooded fashion. Whoever won, whoever lost. That wasn't the point. It was what the effect of this was going to be on gold.
President Lincoln was furious and expressed his rage in public.
As for these speculators, I wish every one of them would have his devilish head shot off.
Wall Street learned the outcome of the Battle of Gettysburg before Abraham Lincoln did. Their sources of information were that good.
As trading surged, the old guard brokers tried to keep up. But other Wall Street players saw their chance to cash in on the Civil War boom. New, freewheeling exchanges opened all over New York.
It was a frenzy. The trading went on not only on the stock exchange, but the trading on Broad Street, the so-called curb market, was larger than it had ever been before. In the evenings, they had uptown exchanges in hotels where they carry on stock trading.
It was just a mass of speculation occurring everywhere. I mean, it was the first great period of mass speculation in American history.
Brokers could earn up to $10,000 a day in commissions, and some spent it just as quickly. The Gilded Age, the title of Mark Twain's novel about this era of opulence, was in full swing, and Delmonico's was the restaurant of the day.
One of the most fun evenings at Delmonico's would be a diamond dinner. And the reason they were called diamond dinners is female guests would receive diamond bracelets, and the male guests would receive cigars wrapped in $100 bills at the end of the meal, and this was your party favor.
The Civil War boom had transformed Wall Street. Where there had been millions in play, suddenly there were billions. In just 3 years, it had become second only to London as a world financial power. Author James K. Medberry offered this comment on the richness and excess of the times.
New York never exhibited such widespread evidences of prosperity. Broadway was lined with carriages. The fashionable milliners, dressmakers, and jewelers reaped golden harvests. Anonymous startled the city with the splendor of her robes and the luxury of her equipage. Vanity Fair was no longer a dream.
Before the Civil War, Wall Street was a very small place. Virtually everybody knew everybody. And the rules of the game could be enforced the same way the rules of a backyard touch football game are enforced, just by peer pressure. But when the Civil War came along, Wall Street suddenly found itself the second largest securities market in the world.